Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this video I've got another episode of Rank the Tank, and on this episode it is featuring tier 8 tech tree light tanks. So as always, I'll pick 3 tanks and rank them from 3rd to 1st accordingly. And at number 3 we have the Hawk 12, which is the German light tank. So on equipment, you see in the right hand screen there we got optics, camo and gun rammer. And on the perks we run the usual bomb leader, rapid reload, 6th sense, situational awareness, camouflage expertise, steady aim, muffled shot, green thumb and snapshot. So we're on Ghost Town here, and not the best of maps for a light tank, but we're going to make it work. So the Hawk 12, I've ranked 3rd. Now I actually really like the Hawk 12, believe it or not. When I was grinding it, I quite enjoyed it for some unknown reason. Actually went and pre-marked it, strangely enough. So yeah, I did get on with it really well. Some of the good points of it is it does have a good view range, I think 410 meter base view range, which is quite nice for a light tank. The heat pen on it is quite good as well. It's at 250 heat pen, so I think that's quite nice for a light tank. Also, obviously with heat you don't lose any penetration over distance. Obviously the damage is, let's say, quite nice. I think you're sort of averaging around about 240, 250 damage per shot. The gun depression is 10 degrees, which is nice. The camo is okay. It's about 329 base camo, so it's okay. I mean, obviously you can get it down sort of quite nicely for a light tank, and yeah, it's all right. The downside of it is it's a bit of a passive. You got to play this passive. It's not an active scout, in my opinion. I don't think, if you try and play this active like you would an LTTB, then you're gonna sort of suffer. So yeah, sort of your positions on the one line and proc, where you could sort of get into bushes, just creep forward and just keep sort of passively spotting. That's how you want to play this tank. That's where you're going to get your majority of your assist. And funnily enough, I have actually had a long time ago. I think I got around about 9,000 spotting assist on proc. We are talking years ago, but it was in this tank, and again it was just by doing that method of passive play, passive spotting. So yeah, I mean, look, the worst part of it is its shell velocity. The shell velocity is awful. It's one of the worst in the game. It is very slow shell velocity, so you do have to lead those shots. But the traverse isn't. It's okay, but it's not the best. Again, trying to if you're trying to play that sort of active role, you're not going to sort of be sort of weaving in and out. And also the silhouette of the tank is quite big. So again, when you're if you're trying to play that active role, sort of coming up on ridge lines, it's not going to work, because the enemy's going to sort of see you quite clearly. You're not going to be able to traverse out there quick enough, so they're just going to lead the shot, and they're going to be able to sort of get the shot on you. As with most light tanks, it doesn't have any armor, so again that's going to put you on. It's not going to be great for you. So again, you have got to play a little bit sort of more careful, and it's quite top heavy as well. I think as well, it can be quite top heavy. So again, when you're sort of cornering, on ridges, again you need to sort of be careful. Try not to sort of hit any rocks or anything, because it will more than likely tip you over. But other than that, I do actually genuinely think it's not a bad tank. It's just, I think, basing it sort of 3rd. I think for possibly a new player, it's going to be sort of one of those that's going to be a little bit hit miss. I'd say that sort of in a sense of when you're sort of grinding it, might be it's just going to be an awkward one to play. But saying that, you've got the Spar Panzer tier 7, which is very it's a similar sort of build. If you played the Tiger Shark as well, again similar sort of design of tank. So you can sort of get used to that rear mounted turret, and you can sort of you can just kind of get used to how the tank operates in a sense. But like I say, the poor shell velocity can catch obviously people out. So yeah, that's why for me, why I put the Hawk 12 as third. It's just one of those where it's a good tank. Passive spotter, I think it's definitely very good, and works well in that sort of in that role. But as a light tank overall compared to others, I don't think it's, compared to the other two that will be coming up. That's why I ranked it third. So yeah, coming back to the gameplay here, you can see we've done okay. Sort of, the damage is pretty average, but we're in a 2v4 here, and our friendly teammate is on sliver of health. We've got this T30 sort of coming in at us. He is actually a 2 or 3 shot to us, and we're just going to go in and we're just going to get rid of this guy. We're going to try and take him out as quickly as possible. We're trying to get round him as quickly as possible. We have kind of made a meal out of this. However, he's also made a meal out of trying to get a shot on us. We have low rolled, unfortunately, but we know we're going to sort of beat his reload, so we take him out. We are now the last guy left. Our teammate has been taken out, so it is now a 3v1. We've got rid of the T30, which is a dangerous tank to get rid of, which is quite nice. He was isolated, so we're able to take him out quite easily. We're up to sort of 2.3k damage here with 581 assist, only the 1 kill. But like I say, now we're in this sort of 3v1, and we've still got majority of our hit points, which is quite nice. One other thing I should mention as well is obviously 1,000 hit points on this tank, which is not great. I mean, obviously all light tanks are going to suffer from not having sort of as many hit points as other tanks, but when you're sort of playing those tier 10 matches, it's one that you have got to really be careful of, playing this sort of tank. I like to say, with that passive sort of role, again for new players, it's something that if they're not familiar with how to do sort of passive spotting, it could really get them into a lot of trouble. So now we're just sort of zooming sort of around sort of the edges of the map. We don't want to sort of go sort of hurling through the middle, because naturally sort of this is offering us the most protection. We've got bushes here that we can sort of sit behind if needs be, and we're just basically scouting the perimeter. I didn't want to sort of go straight through the middle, because there's high chance that you could bump into an enemy tank, and if you're sort of in an alley or something like that, then you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be sort of easier for them to shoot them, or shoot us, should I say. Whereas here, we've got the benefit of the ridges, bushes. We can keep a distance. We've got sort of plenty of exits and routes to get out and dodge. However, 2 of the 3 tanks have hopped into the base, which now tells me where they are. I can see this bar as well, which is not in the base, and now I know where all the tanks are. This is the perfect situation for me. The not so perfect situation is I've only got 2 seconds left. However, I do manage to get a nice shot into that Type 4, resetting the cap, but I need to get a shot onto that Borsig, which is not ideal, because obviously the Borsig has very good camo. But we do manage to spot him again, and we do slap a shot in there, and we've got the full reset, but it only gives us just under 40 seconds. Now this bar is sort of on his way, and I'm kind of panicking a little bit here, because obviously I don't want to take a shot off the bar. The bar is, yeah, the bar's easy enough to handle if I can get around the back of it. I've got him, no problem. But the problem is I've got obviously the Type 4 and the Borsig capping. I get lit up there, I think probably by the Type 4, but I do manage to spot the Borsig. Weird how I managed to spot the Borsig out the Type 4. Yeah, weird how I spot the Borsig before the Type 4. Weirdly enough. Do get a shot on that bar, but that bar is faceless. It's just put us on to 30 hit points, and this is not ideal at all. We've got 30 seconds left on the clock. I'm kind of panicking like mad here. I'm trying to get round the back of this bar. I managed to get a shot in, but I've got to I've got to get out here. I nearly got shot by, I assume, the Borsig. Yeah, I'm in an absolute mare of a situation here. So yeah, it's not ideal here. We're sort of trying to get out from being shot and shut down by the bar, and equally we're trying to reset the cap, but we can't do both. Yeah, it's just too much to try and sort. But there we go. We unfortunately don't get the win, but yeah, like I say, we do get 3.5k damage. Picking up the first class, it wasn't sort of the most spectacular game, but in all fairness, not bad considering it is a city map. So yeah, but that is the Hawk 12 anyway, and that's how that one plays out. So yeah, that was at number 3. So number 2, we are moving on to the Batchat 12 tons. So this is your French light tank at tier 8, and we are on proc. So a really nice map, you know, one of the best maps you could ask for really in a light tank. And again, you can see the equipment on the right hand screen. We've run the same as the Hawk 12, just dropped the gun rammer for vert stabs. And yeah, so the Batchat 12 ton, it's again another good tank. I really enjoyed it. Again, went and free marked it. And this is your 4-shot auto loader, so this is again going to be quite different to the Hawk 12. So the good parts about the Batchat 12 ton is it's got good camo. It's about 317 meters of steel concealment base. Obviously you can bring that down even further, so you know, it pips the Hawk 12 on the camo front. The penetration values aren't too bad on it. The shell velocity is fantastic on both rounds. So on your standard rounds, about 1,000 meter shell velocity, and it's just over 1,200 on your premium rounds. So yeah, the velocity is very good on this tank. The traverse isn't too bad on it, the whole traverse, and it's got some really good forward speed. You can get up to about 68 kilometers an hour. The not so great things of the Batchat 12 ton is you've got high fire chance at 20%. Your reload isn't too bad, but it's 20-second base reload. Obviously, again, you can bring that down if you sort of run sort of your rapid reload perk and food, which I do. But it just means, again, sort of you need to be a little bit clever when you're utilising that clip, because damage wise you're averaging about 170 hit points on each shot. So your my maths is terrible by the way, so you're averaging about 500 to 600 or just over 600 hit points per clip. But what that means, what I'm trying to explain here is if you're the newer player playing this tank, you need to sort of be wary on, or you need to calculate the best way to go and dump your clip. So for instance, that artillery, if I wanted to go in on that guy, then it's fine. The risk is minimal. However, sort of full health tanks, you need to sort of be wary. If they're isolated, by all means do it. But if they're grouped, I mean, look, I'm maybe teaching everybody how to suck eggs here. It's, you know, it's how you play many autoloaders. To be fair, you have to play that quite calculated. But obviously with light tanks, you've got, I guess you've got additional risk because again, there's no armor on the Batchat 12 ton. There's only 1,000 hit points, so again, you don't have a large pool to play with. So again, you need to be calculated when you go in and you get that clip off. And also bear in mind, you're going to be on an 18-second reload as such, so you're going to have to get out there quite quickly so you can sort of get safe and get on your reload. Your view range about 380 meters, which is not like it's average for a light tank at tier 8 if I'm honest. Again, Hawk 12, I call it the Hawk, HWK 12, Hawk 12, pips it on view range, but yeah, with batch at 12 ton, you do have to be a little bit more careful with it, I guess, in terms of its concealment values, or not concealment values, but view range. Obviously the concealment's better, so it makes up for it, and this is a good spotter. I think you can play this sort of a bit more active. Again, it can play dual roles. I think you can be active and passive with this tank, with the batch at 12. So yeah, you can see on prop we played that one line. We were sort of playing a bit passive. We were getting some shots off because obviously stuff was getting cleaned up on that one line, and there wasn't particularly too much there. Majority of the team has seemed to have sort of played this the hill, which I don't think is the best play on proc, but that's just my opinion. I think playing the one line, playing the mid ridge is your better option. If you're going to play the hill, you need to push it quite aggressively, I think, so that you can get in behind. Like what we've done here, we've got complete map control, and the red team are stuck on the hill now, so effectively they're sitting ducks. So yeah, a lot of proc is all about map control. So yeah, the batch at 12 ton is a great tank, I think. Definitely a good light tank. But yeah, it's just one. You can see here we've sort of taken the calculated risk where we can sort of go in on that Brask and get our clip in. We know we can do that safely, and we've done that based on the fact that he's on reload. We know we can get in there and get the shots off without taking any fire in return, and also knowing that there was only a few tanks left meant that they were sort of somewhat distracted by the rest of our team. So the game itself here, we've had pretty decent game assist wise. We've picked up 2.8k assist, picking up 1800 damage, only 2 kills in the process. Again, above average game, I'd say. We do come top of the board. Again, sort of quite a quick fire game actually. But yeah, again, it just highlights, just shows off what this tank can do. Not a bad game considering we were sort of bottom tier there. So number one spot, I put the Wizzy 132. Now this tank has featured numerous times on the channel because I love it. It's one of my favourite light tanks in the game, if I'm honest. And yeah, so you can see the equipment we've dropped vert stabs on this one for gun rammer. You can go for either one. I don't think that either one's not no bad option. You can see the perks we're running there. So again, sort of a similar setup to the Hawk 12, mainly camo and obviously snapshot just to improve the accuracy, as you want to do with all light tanks. So the Wizzy 132, this tank for me, I mean, like I say, it's probably my favourite out of all three. I think as a new player, you're gonna probably get on better with this than the other two. Maybe it's that's a bit of a push against the batch at 12, but this tank for me, I just think it's a bit more user friendly. I think personally. You can play sort of quite an active spotter in this tank. You can play the passive as well if you want to. The tank itself, you have got good DPM on this. The penetration values aren't too bad. Shell velocity is good on the premium rounds. Standard is a little bit below par. You've got very good hold traverse on it. So again, playing that active role, you can sort of weave in and out. You can sort of You can turn and get out of dodge quite quickly if needs be. You got a bit of turret armor as well, which isn't too bad. Not that you're going to sort of play ridge lines, but again, if tanks are sort of shooting at you peeking ridges, if some tanks do manage to get a shot on you, you may be able to get that bounce, especially if you're sort of top tier. The downside of the 132 is its average gun depression. It's about 6 degrees. The accuracy is like 0.40, so it's not great. This is base value, by the way. And the aim time is like 2.3 seconds, so it can feel a little bit derpy, a little bit troll. The view range again is 380, so as a spotter, it's not as good as say the Hawk 12. It's similar. It's the same as the Batchat 12 ton. So yeah, its view range isn't as good as say some other light tanks, but like I say, in games such as this, when you're on El Haluf, I mean, a map for me that I wouldn't say was the strongest for a light tank. There are positions that you can play, you can spot. I mean, we've done well here, sort of just getting into the middle and just picking up 2.1k by spotting the other side. So yeah, we've done all right, but it's very hit and miss. El Haluf, it's not, the assist isn't always guaranteed, and this is quite risky that we're playing here. We are bottom tier. We are platooned up with Mass as well, who is giving us some support. Yes, he is camping there in the heavy at the back on the ridge, but he's tier 8, so I guess we can make exceptions, and he's giving us some nice assist. And again, bottom tier, I wouldn't expect him to be able to do too much, but yeah, the game as a whole, we're not doing that great. We've lost 3 tanks. We've lost map control on the choke point on A1. And I'm looking for some shots on tanks that are crossing now. Unfortunately, that 60 TP, who was, I think, maybe a 2, maybe even a 1 shot for us, was just crossing into cover before we were able to get the shot off. We need to get some shots off on this KV4 because where that guy is in relation to the other tanks, we're going to be in a bit of a crossfire. We've been lit up here and we have been targeted as well. So unfortunately, we're kind of in a little bit of a crossfire. Trying to get another shot into that KV4. I was hoping I could set him on fire. He seems to be distracted. He's just sort of parked up there. Now we put him down to a 1 shot, and I'm hoping that we can finish him off because I kind of want to clear this side out so that we can focus on the tanks that are now pushing our base. We haven't had it too bad. Well, I mean, assist wise has been really good. We put this grill down to a 1 shot. I'm going to try and see if I can finish him off now. He's now turning his attention to us, but we're taking our time. We managed to get the kill there, and we take out a real dangerous tank destroyer out of the game. Now, like I say, that this tank is just, for me, I just really enjoy it because, like I say, if you're not in a map where you've got the opportunity to sort of play that light tank role, you can kind of play it like a medium. It really is kind of a dual role tank in a sense that you can play the medium role quite well. So yeah, so we're trying to get a shot onto this heavy tank, which is in a real sort of predicament here. We do manage to sneak that shot in, which is quite nice. And we've kind of turned this game a little bit around. We're only 1 tank down now. So, yeah, we're doing okay. We've got 2 kills. We've picked up 2.5k damage and 2.5k assist. And managed to bounce a shell off of something. I'm assuming off of our turret somewhat. And now we're just going to sort of try and see if we can help our teammates out back in the base. Going to try and see if I can get the sneak up on this medium tank. Unfortunately, our machine gets taken out there, but there's this TD left, and I'm just going to try and see if I can help him out by putting some shots into this medium tank, the Centurion AX, which we do manage to get a shot into his upper plate. Just going to try and see if we can get the kill shot, and we do, picking up our 3rd kill of the game. That kind of helps out the TD. It takes him out the crossfire a little bit, but now we've got this other medium tank that's moving in. It's the Avri, and I really want to get rid of this guy if I can. He's hard aimed on this TD, but I'm hoping that we can take him out between us, and we do. The M60 up on the hill there that's covering the TD has done a brilliant job, and between all three of us, we managed to get rid of that Avery. Now all that's left is a tank destroyer and artillery. Now this is where I can go back into light tank mode. I've done playing the dual role of the medium tank. Now I can start going and using my spotting to light up these tanks. We see the artillery crossing the other side there. Luckily the M60 manages to put, I assume it's the M60, puts a shot in. The 114 takes out that tank destroyer. And now, like I say, all that's left is artillery. We've loaded the HE, just try and maximise all the damage we can out of this. And we're going to try and cut him off here. I'm hoping that I can just sort of get all this damage. Going to pop up. I'm assuming he's going to be on our left-hand side. No, he's not. He's running. We're not sure where. But yeah, we're just doing the scout and run. But like I say, the 132 for me, I just think is a lot more versatile compared to the other two light tanks. Not to say the other two light tanks are bad. I just think, again, reiterating what I said, the Hawk 12 can be a bit of an unusual play style and something to sort of take a bit of time to get used to. And the same in the Batchat 12, but yeah, the Wizzy 132 for me is just very versatile. And you see they picked up 3.3k damage, just under 3k assist, picking up the ace tank there with a very nice game on El Haloof bottom tier. And there we go, that is it for Rank the Tank, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about these picks. You know, do you agree? Do you think, you know, Hawk 12 or the Batchat is better than the 132? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.